Hello, this is Chad Middleton, your vocational expert. And as often as I can, I like to come on YouTube and share with you guys how we help veterans get TDIU. I'm a vocational expert, so I see things through a vocational lens. And I've been able to help a lot of veterans because I look at a lot of rating decisions, I look at a lot of DBQs, I look at a lot of medical records. And from these medical records and my expertise as a vocational expert, I'm able to ascertain whether or not jobs are available for someone with these disabilities in the national economy. I want to share with you about a veteran who's come to me for some assistance. I'm not going to share with you the veteran's name or anything like that, but I want to give you some circumstances. All right. And as you're listening to the circumstances, I'm hoping that you're looking at your own circumstances, your own disability ratings, and try to determine whether or not I will be able to help you. Okay. I have a 63-year-old veteran um, who is applying for a TDIU. He's rated at 90%. He's a former police officer, all right, works 20, 30 years as a police officer. And as a police officer, you're responsible for apprehending suspects, interviewing, maintaining safety, security, the law, dealing with conflicts and things like that on a day-to-day basis. But this veteran has a mental health condition. He has anxiety. He has a 50% rating for migraines. He has a 70% rating for anxiety. He has a 30% rating for vertigo and 10% for tinnitus, ringing in the ears, and 0% for hearing. Okay. He provided a lot of medical documentation to support some of his limitations, but he also shared with me problems that he was having on the job. Okay. He's walking around with a weapon. He's having to deal with conflict often. He has some anxiety, has depression, and he's starting to feel more like a liability on the job as opposed to being someone that's functioning well. Now, just because he's been on this job for over 20 years, it has no bearing on whether or not they're going to give TDIU. If he retired from his job, resigned from the job, or even was terminated from the job, that has nothing to do with it. Currently, he is unemployed. And what we're talking about is how his disabilities has affected his last job. Okay. So he provided me some personal information. He has a high school diploma, doesn't have any college education or anything like that, doesn't have a learning disability or anything like that. So that is the information that I wanted to know about him personally. Now, when we go into the disabilities, we look at his 70% rating for anxiety. Okay. And some of the limitations include, and I want you to pull out your rating letter because these things are apparent and they have been determined by a medical examiner during the DBQ, which is why it's on his award letter. His award letter says we have assigned a 70% rating for anxiety based on anxiety, chronic sleep impairment, depressed mood, difficulty in adapting to work-like setting, difficulty in adapting to stressful circumstances, difficulty in adapting to work, difficulty in establishing and maintaining effective work and social relationships, flattened affect, forgetting directions, forgetting names, forgetting recent events, forgetting to complete tasks, impaired abstract thinking, impaired judgment, impaired short-term memory, impaired long-term memory, mild memory loss, and check this, near continuous depression affecting the ability to function independently. Number two, near continuous panic affecting the ability to function independently. All right. Neglect of personal hygiene, occupational and social impairment with deficiencies in most areas such as work, school, family relations, judgment, thinking, or mood, panic attacks more than once a week, and suspiciousness. All right, stop. Okay, I don't care how physically strenuous, I don't care how much weight you can lift, I don't care how physically strong you are. If you don't have any other physical limitations, if you're only looking at these mental health limitations, what job do you think a person with these limitations will be able to do? Now, you're not even a vocational expert, so I don't think you feel that there are any jobs that this person can do. All right. Even from a vocational perspective, when I look at my vocational lens, I'm looking at jobs that do not involve working with people, jobs with no stress, jobs that's isolated, jobs that are simple. When I'm looking at those types of jobs, even those jobs seems to be a little far-fetched. Um, in order for a person with these limitations to perform. But that is not his only limitation. He also has a 50% rating for migraines. Of course, migraines at the 50% rate is the highest rate that you can have for migraines. And his migraines are severe. His migraines impact his ability to do anything when he has them. So when he has a migraine, two, three, four times a month, this also reduces the number of jobs that he will be able to perform consistently because at least 2 to 3 days out of the month, he's going to be absent solely because of the migraines. So when you look at these mental health disabilities, when you look at the physical with the migraines, and you look at this veteran's past work as a police officer, do you feel that he will be able to return to work in that capacity with those types of limitations? No, not at all. You definitely don't want nobody walking around with a gun, having those types of limitations, near continuous panic, near continuous depression, panic attacks more than once a week. That is not a job that a person should be able to perform. So when we start looking at other jobs, how will these conditions affect your ability to do other jobs? Now, based on my research, based on my resources, based on my knowledge of jobs as they exist in the national economy, I feel that this person is severely disabled, not able to perform past work, and there are no other jobs that this person could perform considering these service connected disabilities. Now, I didn't go into some of the other medical documentation that he presented because this is just an award letter. An award letter is not a medical documentation, but it's a reflection of the DBQ that was performed by the medical examiner. So I always tell my vets, make sure you get a copy of that DBQ. That DBQ serves as medical records, medical evidence, because someone with a psychiatric degree, a psychiatry degree, or someone with a doctor's degree, or someone with a medical doctor's degree, a nurse practitioner, or somebody signed off on this examination, and this is considered medical records. Okay, so as a vocational expert, I need medical documentation. I need some information to help me determine what your limitations are. But if you are able to see how these limitations are decided and described in your award letter, patch that up, seal it up, send it to me, and let that be also evidence of your limitations, so that we can do a vocational evaluation report. Okay. The vocational evaluation reports are extensive. I look at your personal life. I look at how these disabilities are affecting you personally and at home. Uh, I talk about your evidence, what evidence I am reviewing. I do a vocational profile and determining what I feel that you're capable of performing physically and mentally. And the conclusion is, if there are no jobs that I can identify, then I conclude the letter with the finding that there are no jobs and you're severely disabled. Okay, you use that evidence to support your claim for TDIU. Then you call me back, say, "Hey, Chad, they approve my TDIU. I want to thank you very much." All right, those are the types of calls I like to receive. Those are the type of calls that I usually get. And when I do get a call, and it's very rare, of someone saying I didn't get my TDIU after I do a report, my usual response is, "Please send me the award letter." Because anytime the VA makes a decision about your claim, they put it in an award letter. All right. So when you read the award letter and it has no reference to the report, the vocational evaluation report that I did, is because they didn't receive it. Okay. So you have to appeal and resubmit the letter. And if they did read the letter and accept it and they still denied it, what happened in the process? What happened in the process? And they have to address even the vocational evaluation report if they feel like they're going to go over the report's head, so to speak. Okay. In Social Security, if they have a vocational evaluator, for one side, the Social Security Administration has a vocational evaluator on their side. All right. So it's easy to have two opposing opinions. But like I said in previous videos, doctors don't like to compete with vocational experts because we're the vocational experts, not the medical experts. All right. So doctors don't like to provide opinions about whether or not a person is going to be able to find a job. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. This person is going to get a vocational evaluation report. This person, I believe, from my vocational experience, is not able to find and keep and maintain substantial gainful employment activity. And this person, I believe, is going to be granted TDIU benefits. Okay. Now, if there are any vocational experts out there that want to go back and forth with me and say, "Oh yeah, Chad, I can do this. I can tell you whatever," I'm open to it. But I'd like for you, veteran, wherever you are in the United States or in the world for that matter, try to find you a vocational expert in your area that you can talk to about performing a vocational evaluation, even if you don't use me. All right. I do these reports all over. All right. All the time. We work with hundreds of veterans. So if you're interested in these services, call us up, get on my schedule, and keep your appointment. All right. It's a virtual appointment. We're on East Coast time, wherever you are. Get your stuff together because we're going to have a moment where we're talking about your state of affairs. Okay. I'm Chad Middleton. I'm a vocational expert. I am skilled at performing vocational evaluations. I'm also licensed as a professional counselor as well. So if you need these services, please stop delaying. Please stop putting it off. Start this process up. And even if I feel like it's not good for you to pursue it, I will let you know. Say, wait, I don't think it'll be good for you to pursue a vocational evaluation report at this time for whatever reason. All right. I've even told veterans that I think that they may get TDIU without a vocational evaluation report. Okay. Meaning that I think from what I see in their records, that it's good enough as it is. I think you might get it based on these records. But usually when I say that, they'll go forward without a vocational evaluation report, and the VA finds some kind of way to deny him. All right. Y'all seen it on my channel. You could be 90%, you could be 99%. Not really, but y'all know what I mean. You can be 90% service connected disabled, and the VA still feels like you don't have evidence to support you not working. That's when you call on me, the vocational expert. And if I look through your medical records and if I can determine that with our help, you will get TDIU, I'll let you know we start up the process. Okay. So go ahead and request your DBQs. Go ahead and start getting your award letters. Go ahead and give me the records that I'm going to need for a vocational evaluation report. All right. The quicker we're able to move through the process, the quicker we're able to put in a claim for TDIU. And then once they get this report, they have to acknowledge it. And my experience is they're going to grant your TDIU only if you have the evidence to support it. Okay. So thank you very much for tuning in with me once again. I'm going to try to give you guys game. Okay. I want to give you guys game because I see what the VA is doing. You're not able to see because you're a vet and you're on one side and you're not privileged to seeing the other side because you're not doing this type of work. By doing this type of work, I'm able to look at multiple DBQs. And every year it seems like DBQs are changing. All right. They're getting new directives on how to do DBQs. I'm noticing that they're not um, where they are making it more difficult, even though they're giving you the disability rating, they're minimizing how serious your mental health limitations are. All right. They say, yeah, you got a 70% rating, but your conditions are controlled with medication. They say, yes, you got 70% disability, but you only have an occasional problems with uh, dealing with your mental health, so to speak. Okay. So when they word it that way, they give you the money, but because you never see the DBQ, you don't know how severe they rated your mental health condition. Okay. I've seen many of them and I see what's going on. I don't know if there's any type of training that they're giving these medical examiners to lessen the degree of functioning. But they offer their opinion and they put it in the letter. And when I get to see it, I get to really comment on how it's affecting their ability to get TDIU. All right. Again, thank you once again. As you can see, I can talk about this forever. But I want you to go ahead and put in a claim for TDIU. Go ahead and do your intent to file. All right. You plan on seeing me? Go ahead and do your intent to file. All right. You got a year. All right. By the time you come see me and we get you to put a rating in, they're going to backdate that award or your claim all the way back to the date in which you put the intent to file for TDIU. Okay. Go ahead and do that. Set up an appointment to see me. My phone number is 803 563 5087. No matter what time it is nowadays, where you are, call it. Even if it's midnight, call the number, leave a message, say, hey, saw your video on YouTube, and I would like to participate in a vocational consultation. All right. Leave your name, leave your phone number, leave your email address. Okay. Or send us an email saying that you're interested in a vocational consultation, and my assistant will reach out to you and get you scheduled. Okay. While you're waiting, start gathering your information. By the time you get to see me, we get to talk about some things. All right. So I look forward to talking to you. I look forward to answering your questions. Um, I don't have anything additionally, but I would like for you to like and subscribe to our channel. All right. Gets the word out. I don't know what the algorithm is coming up for TDIU and whether or not my face is showing up often in your search. But if I'm showing up in your search, it's because you probably need some of these services. All right. But like and subscribe and share it with your other veterans, regardless where you are. We'll help you. All right. God bless you. Take care of yourself. I look forward to hearing from you soon.